Hello everybody, we're loading up for the first semi-final. It is the Colourful Vikings versus the Green Orc Reddens. There's been a hefty pre-game bloating session. Normally people like to cut to try and trim down and make their team value more efficient. But these guys have gone the other way around, I believe. They are taking Yetis, they are taking Trolls. The Colourful Vikings is 2 Valkyries and a Dream. Very good Valkyries versus your standard big Orc team in REBBL. The Big O mirror here. But yeah, there's been a lot of preamble, which I will be cutting from this YouTube VOD. But it'll be on Twitch if you really want the preamble. It'll be on the Twitch VOD. I'll cut it to the quick. And we'll see what inducements. It's Grombrindal, the White Dwarf, Griff, and a Bribe. I am surprised at Grombrindal. I would assume this would be Cindy day and night, but okay. See what they can do. Grombrindal, if you aren't aware, he can give somebody one of his skills every turn. So I suppose the logic is you give somebody. Does he start with guard? Yeah, stand firm, dauntless. Oh, I see. He's gonna use his skill to give Griff dauntless or give somebody dauntless every turn. The Green Orc Reddens have won the toss. Let's check this star player rule. If you use an adjacent player, he gains either, Great Tackle, Dauntless, Mighty Blow, or Sure Feet. Oh, I see. He's taking it for the Sure Feet as well. So there's a lot of utility here for these guys. Especially when you've got Movement 8 with Sure Feet. That gets a lot better. That is interesting. So yeah, you guys, if you're Kunxian and if you're Liam Colston, get out of here. Otherwise, I will be banning you shortly. But yeah, it looks like who won the toss here? The Green Orc Reddens chose to receive, so a nice toss to win for the Orcs. We have to decide, do we field Griff? I doubt we do. Griff, of course, the usual stat line, but he is a bit outstatted here because we also have Volkmar the Violet, who, as you can see, is essentially a female vampire. Movement 8, Strength 4+, Agi 2+, Armor 8+, but I mean, when you're that fast, you're not getting hit. And of course we have Blodge on top of the usual skills, which is Sure Hands, Sure Hands, Dauntless, Catch, and Pass. And 3+ passing with the pass skill is very doable. There's no exciting stuff. So Shamba, hello. Oh, you just missed me flaming your team for not making it to the finals again. Yeah, good evening. Yeti has been bought. Did we buy a troll in the end? I don't think we did. No, we did not. I think we just took a bench. So yeah, both teams opting to bloat. I'm a little bit surprised we don't see a troll coming out. Personally, if we are going to spend money, I would have spent it on a throw teammate angle. And a Yeti as well. So we do have a bit of claw. But it's not reliable claw. Does Grombrindal give this guy block? I don't think he does. Yeah, so there's another line here where Grombrindal babysits the Yeti and gives the Yeti Mighty Blow, and then the Yeti will punch and blitz with Claw Mighty Blow into an Orc. That is also an angle, so this Grombrindal is looking incredibly smart. This is not his first rumble as a Norse. It's very good utility. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I'll be able to claw. If you're keeping them Shambra, I get to claw at them next season, so I'm looking forward to that. But we've still got 3 games to go in a couple of weeks till next season, and this is one of them. So let's lock in. So Spurt Wiley is apparently going to be carrying the ball for these boys. He is a movement 7, Agi 2+ Goblin with sidestep and sprint. That's enough to know. And a Stunty as well. The main thing is Stunty. Stunty Agi 2+ means no matter how many tackle zones you get in his way, he will walk through it on a 2. So it's all about defending in depth against this guy, getting nice deep elf screens with as many tackle zones as possible, so that eventually you hope that he rolls a couple 1s. But let's be real, the dodge skill with all 2+ dodges, this guy can go a long way. The only downside is he folds on contact, so that'll be the goal for the Norse, is to get some contact. Especially with Stunty, he knocks out and badly hurts quite easily. Another plus point for Cindy, because a bomb much better against, a bomb taking this guy out, even no matter how safe the Orcs keep him. Can always do that. I don't think he does. I don't think he has to pick non-loners. It doesn't say in the text. Adjacent, it just says adjacent player. Oh, weather conditions. Is this heat? It's an interesting pitch. I believe this means it's hot. Yeah. So both teams have to manage their removals here as we get off the mark. First block of the day comes in from Marco Rajamarki. We're pushing inwards. Interesting. The dim mode thing is to push outwards, but I suspect the Orcs are going to try and wrap up their opponents nice and tightly here. Prevent any easy dodges. And try and get a couple of removals as well, obviously, for the road. There's a stun. Thanks to Thick Skull keeping that guy in the game. And yep, here they come. Aberdax with a break. Starting nice and well here. And we just don't mind the frames for a sec. The game audio is incredibly low, I think. So I'm going to turn up the game audio, but if it's too loud, please yell at me. But... yeah, there we go. I'm going to put my music on in the background as well. You won't be able to hear the music. But it's just something to keep me sane, so I'm not talking to myself for 2 hours straight. But yeah. I think I do agree with you here, Shamba. The heat definitely hurts the Orcs because they have more team value on the players to lose. Although at the same time, if this Valkyrie goes off for heat for a drive, it could be incredibly terminal. There's a lot more higher variance, I think. Yeah, still not picking up the ball yet. We haven't decided on our blitz even either. I suspect they'll just take out the sure hands and put on the plate for us. Anyway, we're fielding Griff and we're fielding both the star players, getting all the good guys out there, and we're going after the Yeti. Alright. A nice 2-die hit. Force the blitz to be off the floor. I don't hate it. And in comes the defensive. Not that it will do much. But yeah, down goes the Yeti. Not a mighty low hit though. The Yeti will be fine. But the beef is up front. 2 stand firm here. And 3 guards. So this Yeti is not getting anything done on his get up and blitz. So a very nice opening move by Kungsian here. If you're going to leave the Yeti out, we're going to just remove it from being useful. And enough guard here. The only line is to stand here and blitz here. And then maybe stand the Yeti up, but I doubt that's very good. Yeah, nice first turn for the Orcs here. And the ball gets put in hand. Can these Valks run through? Or run around at least? I'm looking at this right-hand side, and I suspect that's what Coulson will be looking at. Is that we can just run past all these guys and stand about here. Then force some pieces backwards. Look at a big man Griff. Gets a free reroll. Let's see. Constant professional. Just a heads up, my phone. Oh, actually, my phone's pretty charged now. I can take it off charge and have it in front of me. I had it off to the side earlier. Yeah. So yeah, the Yeti can't do anything, unfortunately. It can just lay there and try and draw a foul. But there's no easy foul on offer that I can see. I just think it has to be a weak side, blitz onto this weak side, and then just get pieces in the backfield, because the Golem can only get to the LOS. I suppose the problem with that is that you expose a Valk to, how do you say this? Bagor, Ganag, Hawk. I'm gonna say the Hawk, because that first name is a bit too much for me. And they're doing that on turn 2, and if this piece then gets killed, then it feels very rough. So that's what Coaxing will be banking. Liam does have to think about time bank here, because unlike Kunxian, who's an immigrant, Liam Coulson's an actual Aussie and therefore is playing with the input lag. And so can't afford to throw away too much time bank for no good reason. Yeah, here comes this weak side blitz. And the question is, of course, now is about how much we commit, and probably not much, because we only find a push. First like Colin stands up to the pressure, and yeah, there's not a lot of good squares to go to. We can obviously cut this corner, but we have gotten in our way. So I suspect Volkmar will be hanging out. How do we keep... This is not safe either, so we're going to have to come up with a little bit of a screen. Probably Grom... Stand here, and then Grombrindal steps over. Griff steps back sort of situation. And then we end our turn with a 3+ dodge from Ando. Give the Yeti break tackle to dodge. That's a line. It's certainly a line. Will he do it though? How does this interaction even work? If you use an adjacent player... Okay, so yeah, you can do that, I suppose. Might be fun to watch. Does Liam think... Is he going to do it? Yeah, I think he is. No, that's Griff. He's got Griff out the way. And got him safe. So that if this Yeti dodge fails, it's not curtains. Surely he's thinking about it. Although I don't know how the interaction works. Yeah, here we go. Gonna use the star player rule. Break tackle. Gets up. And walks away. Goblin Dow doing some work already. He hasn't even thrown a punch. The Yeti's back and safe. Now we will try some throwaway dodges. I think this was the one we really wanted to work. But unfortunately we break off of it. Oh, that's rough. That would have been a nice man to just put here because it's only a lineman with block. So there's odds that it stands up and is annoying. And even if it dies, it's, you know, it is what it is. But some good places to be downed. The Orcs lean towards this right-hand side, but again, this is so pushing inwards means that these guys stay relevant. I suspect the middle guy will always be relevant, but having an extra guy here does force the Orcs to go very wide. They don't have to though. They can always just run back a couple squares. No, we are going to come up though and get into this wide zone. If we click here, we can see that this is just far enough that Yerk the Ebony can't get there on a cheeky 2+2+ angle. So this is obviously very deliberate. When you get to the semi-finals, coaches start counting these sort of squares out. So there's no cheeky little 3v hit shots that the opponent can take early in the drive. We do get an extra hit. That dodge failing means we get an extra Mighty Blow hit onto Armor 8+. And the more of these, the better. That's the downside of the Norse. They're just so bloody fragile. There's a full bench here, but they will need every single one of them and more to outlast any Orc team. And they still won't outlast that Orc team. The armor gap is just that big. Just a push, and we did greed for the Mighty Blow hit, so there's no follow-up. There's a world where you block here, push inwards, but it is the rookie big, and we're a little bit scared of the 1 in 9. Oh no, a follow-up hit comes from this guy. My bad. Into a third hit. Will third time be the charm? You're hoping it will be. Having a decision here, Function. Yeah, it does play properly and gets the extra. He was thinking maybe we wanted to move this piece to over here. But we've got a spare Orc to put there and then wheel over so we can take this extra shot. And we do get rewarded. That's a 6. And we do follow. Yeah, we follow. Ooh. Armor's getting broken, but the Norse are standing up to it so far. Oh yeah, Drunkard. I forget about Drunkard. I always forget about it. I don't play against enough Norse. So yeah, it would be a 3+3+. You are right, chat. And we're going to blitz down this Yeti again. Force the break tackle. And this is a Mighty Blow shot. Ooh. And that's the KO. Of course, it's the Yeti that goes out. I have to think about a power Apo here. It's a playoff semi-final. Do we power Apo? We decide not to. Any extra sundries? Let's have a look. Are there any babes? Never mind. Hold on. Not this one. This one. This one. Colourful Vikings. Yeah, no babes. That is a 4+ chance to come back. Right, first removal. And they're all a bit marked. They're gonna have to walk away here. There's just too much guard defensive and a strength 4 for these players to actually do anything about it. And the Yeti tech, the Mighty Blow Claw tech from Grombrindar has not been able to fire this half, unfortunately, for Liam Colston. I think the best we're looking at here is a chain push blitz from onto Murdag, to then push Ando away. But unfortunately, the Ando is only stunned, so You don't even get instant value from that chain push. Looks like we're instead going to target this blitzer. Stood up. See him, Griff. Oh, here comes Griff. Griff's tagging on the back corner, putting some pressure on this goblin. And we got a back safety that's strength 4. So we're hoping to get at least a dive, like a 1-die dive or a 2-die dive. Onto this guy doesn't have block either, so it's not great. And no sure hand. The strip ball would have been so valuable here. We are going in. We're going to take away the front corner here. We do have wrestle, but we don't need it. Marco hits the floor. Lodge tackle on the ball. Rodge tackle, I should say. Still better than nothing. Now the hard part. How do we solve this problem? I think the answer is we don't. This currently would take 3 activations to clear it all off. Although we can free up 1 off of this 1 block. So we'll see what happens here. We're going to go over in. Commit everything. We're all in now. This is the best we're going to get. Because let's be real. I think Liam looks at all this. I think as any coach wouldn't say, well, if I let these guys do their thing, I will just lose the drive. So we're going all in. And Griff putting his body on the line, earning his fee. And we will dodge away from Mighty Blow to the safe, soft grass. Although it is a bit hot, so the grass is probably a bit needly and dry, but we'll take what we can get out here, if you're Norse. And we've got the safety Grombrindal. And a big line of 3 to stop it. Because the main threat, of course, now, Liam, is if the goblin just cuts back through and hangs out with the defensive guys. But Griff getting involved. This is Blood strength 4. And this guy is not strength 4 himself. So this is a tough one. But because these guys are movement 5, you can actually just walk the guard back. Walk this linehawk back and turn this into a 2-die with tackle. And then the goblin will just run over here. And then we'll be okay. And our positioning with the other orcs is so good that we can afford a turn of just swinging back and forth. Don't know if that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and get some punches on these pieces though. Okay, we're not going for the 2-die. Oh no, we are. I assume this guy stands here. Right? Get up and blitz. Or we do get double 6s. So Marek's going to take a shot here. Gets the tackle away from the ball. No break. This is good news. You know, the last thing you want to see as a neutral is just the armor rate plus team exploding on contact. So that's no fun at all. I'm also trying to make a game of it early here. And that is just a push skull. Rockman not at sidestep yet. Interesting push. That does imply we're coming back to the middle. As we should be, really. This whole team just has too many resources, man. I didn't even spot that frenzy trap. Was that on this blitz? Oh yeah, you're right, it was. Interesting. Because they didn't have to be. We could have just moved a guy here before we did that blitz up as well, I'm pretty sure. Kungsian maybe making a slight mistake there. And where is the ball going? Looks like it's going forwards. Makes sense. We just cut this corner and walk forwards. And through it goes. No dramas. And away we... Ooh! I'd say where we go. We stay pitch side of the super valve. Although with this much guard around the cage, I think we're just assuming that they won't try it. But it is a 1-die. It has to be tempting. We are going to fill in the cage a little bit. And at the end of the turn, cheeky shot on the Starman. And we will re-roll it. I am surprised at that. I don't think Griff was going to turn the tide of this drive from this position. But I suppose we wanted to get some damage on the board. And we do have 3 rerolls, so 3 rerolls, the drive looks done and dusted. I think that's the logic there. We just want a little bit of greed, a little bit of tempo. Depending on your terminology. And unfortunately for the Norse, nothing doing here. No consolation prize for losing the drive. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the option is, of course, to dive into this 4+, which is a little bit scary, to say the least. So we're diving, what, 2 + 4? It's still a 6 up, I'm pretty sure, 6 o'clock. Anyway. Evaluating here, deciding if the dive is worth the risk of the player being killed. Or will we just try and knock over another cage corner? Might be what we end up doing here. We can get there for free. Without having to throw a dodge. No, we're going to keep the pressure on. Yeah, one score off that break tackle. Might have made it doable. Gomradell's going in. Because he's got Dauntless, of course. Unfortunately, it's still more pushes. And Stand Firm will do a good job there. Cage will stay perfectly fine. Next one, have to decide, does he want to score this turn, or will he wait it out? Volkmar can get back in line with the ball. Yep, there she goes. Sensible play. Oh, marking up the cage as well. Loving this. All the pressure, all the time. Make him roll the dice. Make him break the armor. It's playoffs, you know. We need every out we can get. We've got enough bench that we can afford to lose a few linemen. And the star player is staying away from tackle. So just hoping that the opponent doesn't roll a 6. There's always a solid strategy. Yeah, we're going to try and get Griff out of here. But tackle does its work. Are we going to use the Griff reroll? I doubt it. We're going to let it ride. Oh, we do use it? Was that a normal team reroll? No, it was the Griff reroll. And we're going to tag up. Look at the corner. We're going to try and just get as far as we can. And we take the rush with the blitz. With the sprint, I should say, not the blitz. I agree, Jetty. I suspect that will be the legend skill, but we're not quite there yet, unfortunately. Actually, we've still got extra skills. No, yeah. Is that ESPP? So we're fishing for sidestep, of course, but we're not quite there yet. It'll be the capstone skill when they win the Super Bowl. And this is what the map looks like for these orcs. There's a lot in the way. So it's going to be these 5 against the world, and you would back them to do it. But yeah, notice this screen here. The goal of this is all just to avoid an easy punch for Bardal the Brown. Forcing them to bring back one of these cage corners to take the punch. Liam wants them to score this time. Galaxian has to come up with a way to not do that, ideally. But at the same time, they can always just take the score and get back punching on their defense. But I suspect Kunxian will be scared because there's a threat of Griff plus Super Vault. And you give those guys 4 turns and they could definitely put a score on you. But no, it's a very nicely set up situation here. A lot of coaches just put their players pow-mow and try and get as many dodges as they can, but this is a very clever setup. In the sense that these players have to stay on, and so these 5 will guaranteed to go down to 4 or 3. And it's very difficult to keep the ball safe from the Super Vault with 3 pieces, so tough decision. We're going to frenzy blitz in here onto the Grand Guard. Don't get him. Does give us an extra punch. But it's not a satisfying one. Not a mighty blow hit. It's our big level 5 big one that we wanted to be part with the cage, but it's getting left behind to punch a Sherhan's piece. Yeah, we'll see. Looks like Collins left behind the play. And yeah, just pushes on this value block, so the Norse are doing very well so far in terms of not getting knocked over, not getting killed. Liam will be very happy. And he is any armor 8 plus coach. You know, when they get through the first 4 or 5 turns without everybody dying on contact, you feel it's very good mentally. You know, you're like, right, I'm in this game. You know, I've not been shafted straight away. Let's try and get something out of this while I've got my pieces still. And I think that weight of expectation does tend to help. I say that though, in comes a mighty blow shot onto Marcus the Mustard. And it looks like we're gonna follow this to put stand firm on the other valve. We'll see what we do. I suspect we'll say no. We're gonna trust in the cage. And Punch it all away. Just a stun though. A nice break, and that is not a 6. So the super Valk stays on her feet for now. And at the end of this, Galaxian will have to evaluate, is it worth risking a dive on a based cage to get an extra turn? I think at the moment it's still perfectly fine to stall. I don't think this block is very threatening. There's no guard to make this a 1-die. We can get a 2-die block on him though. But with stand firm, I think we'll be alright. Let's see. I mean, the line, of course, is you mark up and then you block. And then assuming you knock down and the stand firm works, it's still pretty bad with a setup. You have to walk in past this guard. But it does get you a 2-dice, so it is definitely doable. And I think you might see the reroll if to fish for a knockdown. Because we've still got 3. And it's a very chill line. You just fill this square in. And these squares here. You take this 2-die hit. And then you knock it down. And then this player just walks in on the... We take the 3+ shot. 3 tackle zone shot. Because if we get the knockdown, we're really in business all of a sudden. Because we can avoid having to use Marek until the ball carrier's been blitzed, which means we do actually have pickup potential. Doesn't look like we're going to go for this line. That's what I would have. That's probably what I would have tried if I was the Norse, but we're going to do something a little bit more conservative, a little bit more sensible, and try and. I think Liam probably looked at the turns and was like, "Well, I could do that play, but I'm probably going to be able to force a score on his turn 5 just by turning in this top corner and marking everything up." And sometimes he fails the dodges and the ball goes down anyway, but otherwise I get half the first half. Some might even say a quarter to score back on them, which is quite good. Yeah. Both coaches stepping into the time bank early. Galaxian down to 4 minutes 30. And Liam's just ticking under 5 minutes now. Thinking about, I think that the idea was, do I double mark the ball? Or do I just tie up orcs? I think he's going to keep tying up orcs. Looks like we're going to get Griffith's punch here. A little 1-2-die block onto Larendum Liang. Larendum Lane. I think that's how you'd say that. Larendum Lane. And we're actually going to go for a foul. Yeah, we got the bribe, so we may as well. Ooh, boo. Roll a 4. 30 player wouldn't have helped that. So. And oh, Griff's just taking a walk. There he goes. Gets Grom Rindala 2-die hit. The 2-star players combining here to get some good time. A nice little extra punch. Unfortunately, there's no knockdown. But that'll be a dwarf getting into the fray. No stand firm. Oh, yeah, does it? I tell a lie. He does have stand firm. So that's a very good square for a stand firm to be in. If we click on the goblin, it's very easy to score. We just throw this 1-die, and assuming we don't snake it, it's a walk away. We can even get up and blitz this piece off. So it's a pretty facile twist. In fact, we don't even need. We can even bring over an assist to make this a 2-die. So still a guaranteed score. The downside of this line is that there's just too many free orcs available to save the pieces and get the goblin out of there. And I think Coxing should be trying to find another cage with these 2 free pieces. Because between them and this black orc, we should be able to find ourselves another turn of caging. Stand firm, does its work. And yeah, so Marco can also be part of that cage. So I think this is still stallable. Unfortunately, for Leon Colston. Shambo wanting to go backwards. Also works as well. Movement 7. Yeah, no, movement 7 with a side step. You can definitely step back as well. You're certainly pushing this one backwards at least. We get a power. Just throwing extra punches is a nice thing. And also getting into it. But the downside, of course, is that this gives the Black Orcs free reign. Unfortunately, though, they just can't get the dice going. Can't get the armor down. So all these extra blocks that Liam is signing up for are not getting removed. Not getting value for the Orcs. And that will wear. That will wear on the Kunxian mental. That's supposed to be what happens. You know, they put pressure on you and they make it hard. But you've got more strength and more guards, so you tend to just knock them over. And they should start going away when you do that. So when they don't, it does... You have to be very mentally disciplined as a coach to stay positive. We all set ourselves up a nice surf, though. Bit of catharsis. We're yet to click on the ball carrier. And... Where's the safety? In terms of where's the cage here? Struggling to see it. We're blitzing down Griff. And no knockdown there. We'll frenzy him in. And no knockdown there. Is this Fend? But we unfortunately have Juggernaut, so the Fend does nothing. But we push Griff out the way. Oh, we're going to just dodge from the wrestle. And we roll a 1. Okay, we don't roll a double. Heart in mouth moment there if you're an Orc fan. You just decide to walk away. But Kunxian wants the extra stall. But I think he's gotten a bit lost in the sauce here. 3.5 minutes on the time bank. And I don't know about you, but I am struggling to see safety here. Yikes. It is just about safe, but not really. It's a marked cage, and Grom McGraw is not one of the stand firms. So it is a free hit onto this goblin. Oh, I might not have followed there. I think that follow is almost certainly a mistake because we've gone from 1 guard to 3. Don't know if Liam's recognised that. But maybe he doesn't care. This might haunt him. It has to be red die and there's a skull. So yeah, mistake follows mistake. He doesn't get bailed out by the red die. And Kunxian has absolutely gotten away with one there. There's no nice way of putting it. He got away with one there. That was a 1 die that is turned into a red die by either a misclick follow or just a, oh my god, I've won, and then turn the brain off. But Liam will be kicking himself. That is not the Liam that I have been accustomed to seeing, both playing against him and also casting his games. That is a collector's item error, I would say. And Kunxian's going to walk it in, and Liam might have to go take a walk and reset the mental, because that has to be a tilter. It also gives surf play as well. This is now a surf. We can also surf Griff. So it is a real mess up there. And how much can the Orcs punish for it? Because this ball is not safe. We are like... This is a 1 die that we can always snake if we want to do this surf. I suspect we have to throw a block onto Griff. And then step up and blitz him. And then use that blitz to provide an assist. And then get the surf. That's what I would be doing. And unfortunately, we roll box cards at the worst time. So Griff will be okay. Most of the time he'll be okay. But the dice trap of like finding extra players. He's got his helmet off. He's gesturing to the crowd. Okay, he puts it back on. He sees the pain. Oh, he's dead! That's the last thing he ever saw. Down goes Griff for good. And a brutal bit of punishment there for the Norse. Put his helmet back on. He didn't see the punch coming in. A real right hook to the back of the skull, and Griff Overworld is dead. Down he goes. And Kunxian sits in his time bank because he knows he's got a surf. And it's gone from bad to worse. To borrow a cliche. But it really has gone from bad to worse. Unfortunately, here comes our surf. Well, this one's a bit less, you know, we don't really worry too much about Ando. But off he goes into the crowd. They'll have a quick shot. They'll be okay. I think everyone's still shocked that Griff actually died. To actually lay in the pain. Stand firm from Grand Brindal. But we still have some orcs to activate, so we're looking okay. We still have a blitz. In comes the mighty blow. And this is frenzy, so we'll get another shot even though we came up empty. We get him. The third dice is all we need. Oh, that's a morale booster there for the orcs. The Norse are starting to crumble under that removal. And we will tag everyone up. Get our extra block here. Too cool to die, the orc lineman. 13 SPP. Sorry, 19 SPP on that orc lineman. This guy's been around the park a little bit. Pow on the wrestler. But they'll be okay. And hand over the turn, and the Norse have nothing left. They have a Grombrindal walkaway play. So actually they do have something. They have an easy play, and he makes it. That's a skull, unfortunately. That will be the second reroll. I don't think there's one turn. And it's not enough. And that was a very quick activation there. So I don't think there were many ways out. Just take the 3+ and take our go. And Spurt Wiley, living on his wits, has made it to the wide zone. And there aren't many Norse left to stop it now. In fact, we see an early pass. Big fouling opportunity now. Volkmar's down. We can get 5 assists, 6 assists. Yep, 6 assists. And that if this piece goes and the Apo can't save it, we're in a lot of trouble. Can't think of a better way to put it without resorting to expletives. But this is the heart and soul of the team. And Kungsian has to be eyeing it up. Not before safing the ball. We do have a thing is that the mass stay down. Liam saying, alright, the drive's over. We've got a lot of free boys to be assists as well as protecting. We're setting a very loose screen now. This is an anti-stunty screen almost. Never mind, I was almost expecting a player to stand here. We're going after Grombrindal. We were fishing for another surf, I suspect. We'll take boxcars, I suppose. Because this can come over and be an assist. Or not. Cover off the screen. And the rest can come in and assist. Yeah, we've got enough bodies, I'm pretty sure. Although we're missing 1 assist. Yeah, we're missing 1 assist. Yes, stand firm. See, I don't know this star player's skills. Yeah, no, you couldn't have surfed him. Well spotted, Shamba. In comes the boot. Huge foul, this. Game-changing foul, potentially. Ooh, just a stun on the 8. And Liam Colston, I think, has to open pass, unless we find an open orc to punch. Yeah, we're going to try and get something back. Try and bring down one of these guys. Here we go. Dauntless. Can it do a thing? We fail the rush. And snake it. Down goes to Brindal. That's the last reroll. Although living on a prayer a bit. I might have saved that reroll for maybe like a Yeti or Brindal Mighty Blow plus blitz on that on the next LOS turn. But very nitpicky, I would say. But yeah, Kungsian, a free pass. Is he he can't be thinking about throwing this foul. I think you just make this a 3-die Mighty Blow hit and then call it a drive. Fouling would be the line. Saving for the 1 turn. Oh, he didn't reroll. Oh, I thought he did. Why did I think he did? Oh. Clearly, I'm not with it. Sorry about that, Liam. Liam's probably watching the board saying, this guy's not what he's talking about. And he is right. Yeah, we'll try and get this to 3 dice. 3 dice with Mighty Blow Frenzy. This should be enough to get this guy on the floor and hopefully off the pitch. If we're an Orc fan, that is. But yeah, a quick time bank check. Kunkskin down to 2 minutes. So a moral victory for the Norse. Burns a lot the time bank. Down goes Marcus. Marco versus Marcus. No break. Orcus is really struggling here early on. I do think there's a jug. Does he have a Juggernaut? I want to say there is, but I've just assumed that there's a Juggernaut. And unless Griff can't play it. I don't know. I don't think Grombrandal can give it. He can only give. He can give break tackle. But anyway, it's a touchdown. First of the game. The Goblin runs it home. And the heat. Who do we tank the heat on? It's unfortunately linemen tank the heat. I think Keep It Cool, i.e. Liam Coulson, was hoping that the Valks would take the heat for this one turn, because that would guarantee them for the next drive. But as it stands, the Valks are at risk. The Yeti's at risk. And Gromrindal is also at risk if not starting the second half. Meanwhile, I think it's a pretty good turn up for the Orcs here. The level 6 Blitzer and one of the defensive big uns also have, and Spurt Wiley takes a seat. Well-timed heat stroke situation here. This Goblin knows exactly what he's doing. Convinced the ref he was too tired to play from the heat. But he'll step on, I'm sure, after the half. Ready to snipe a ball. Win the game, maybe. Maybe Grombrindal can throw teammate the super bug. I don't think he's that good. We'll see. Yeah, he gifts the Valk right stuff. We are setting up, we are respecting the one turn. I don't know why. He clearly thinks there's some Juggernauts. I can't see any. Does the Yeti start with it? No. There's Gromrindal does not have it. And you can't give it either. So yeah, I think Kunxian is seeing ghosts. Zach Wilson. Is it Zach Wilson? The quarterback who said that? I can't remember. Yeah, seeing ghosts in the pocket where there aren't none. There's no one there. I don't think there's quite. I don't think he's quite blundered it. I think the 3 Sandpalms is enough, but the Yeti's in, and we're going to get a Yeti Claw Mighty Blow hit here on the LOS, which is what we signed up for. And what we wanted to do when we took the Yeti. Unfortunately, it's a straight up frenzy trap. Oh wow, okay. How much movement have we got to work with here? We don't have any grab. Oh, we break tackle. Oh, you know what we're doing? We're going to break tackle the Yeti and try and get the Yeti to stand here and then blitz in this direction. Which is honestly inspired. I really like that idea. I don't think it's I don't think it'll be enough, unfortunately. How many do we need? 8 plus 2 is 10. Yeah, we need 4 pushes, which I don't think is possible. So yeah, you're right. I think it's a quick snap angle. Would have been a cool line though. Yeti just says, "Screw your stand firm. I'm gonna dive." Pushes over here, and then we start sending it this way. Look, the more I look at this, the more I think he's trying to get this Orc into this square. But he would need a piece here, is the problem. Like, a piece needs to start the drive. I think this piece needs to stand here. Or maybe to get, like, someone to stand here. Because this needs to be filled, right? Because we're going to throw a punch sideways. And this guy needs to be full. Because this guy also needs to block the next one. So, like these 2, 1, 2, 3, I think has to be the pushes. Cheering fans is not a good kickoff result. I saw a prayer to enough will pop up as well. Necessary violence. So rolled by Kunxian though. Whatever. So no quick snap. So it doesn't quite work. We do pick up. We are going to try. We think we've got something. Because we're going to throw for this. We need a 6, however. We don't get it. We only get a 4. So there was clear. Yeah, he clearly wanted that to work. We were going to cut through 1, 2. Anyway. Doesn't quite get there. Here's what stay down. Big look here. There's 5 out, but the Valk. I see one. I see both. I think I see both. It is both. Alright, the Valks get through unscathed. Maybe bench one. And let's spin this right round. So, who have we got? Oh, Hawk's down. Hawk takes a dive. And that's the safety Orc. That's the movement 8 killer with break tackle Juggernaut. A big miss. Meanwhile, it is just these guys joining the corpse in the sideline. So, very good. It could be worse for Liam. Could be worse for these Norse guys. And there's a goblin on the pitch, and only 10 orcs. They've not got their best safety. This could definitely be stalled for a 1-1. Orcs setting up incredibly dense. Desperately wanting some sort of fast push that they can force an early score and get their big man back. But I don't think that Liam's going to give it to them. I think Liam will just sit on the ball and just take the Yeti punches and hope the Yeti Claw Mighty Blow does enough. Let's see. Oh, Grombrindal gets heat struck. Oh dear, how did I miss that? Of course he's out. Oh, what have I missed there? So really bad loss here because of the extras. Almost every skill, as you've seen so far, is given value. Especially for the Yeti. The Grombrindal enabling the Yeti was, I think, a big part of Liam's strategy for this drive. And it's been neutered by the heat. So we'll see what he can do here. But the main thing I think was Claw plus Mighty Blow going into these orcs. Which isn't as good as it used to be, but it's still a very strong combination against. And it is the natural counter to high armor pieces. So it sounds we've got a rookie Yeti crashing in. But the nice thing about Norse is everyone's got blocks, so there's no over-reliance. We can just take these knockdowns. We've got a bribe as well. Liam will have to bribe incessantly. He'll have to foul every turn, even if it's on an orc lineman, because he's outskilled by a serious amount and needs to get rid of pieces to give him space to work, space to get away. And yet, well spotted, eagle-eyed. Chat is zooming in on this number here, this 2:10. Kunxian losing time in the setup phase, which is the telltale sign of a coach who believes he's outcoached, I think. Who can't even trust the default setup without having to overthink it. But we will see. And the weather goes away, we're off the heat, so no more of that. We go back to perfectly normal weather. And we'll take these punches. Orcs going towards the sideline. But there's no all of the frenzy positionals have not available on this team, so there's no actual frenzy threat. That usually means you can't do these 3-2-1s. But anyway, Yeti 3-die coming right up onto Borak. Collateral damage. Any Boldenators in the game? I don't think there are. Here we go. It's a blitz activation, and it's a 1 in 27. Very disciplined take. You don't really have much choice. I say discipline, but it would have been a very gambly. It would be a real gambly reroll that would not have been worth. Yeah, not a great turn there. Fortunately, Orcs can't get to the ball. Blatant disrespect. Warranted disrespect. That's true. Well, he didn't set the Yeti up to do the surf. Like, if we were going surfing, we would have put the Yeti here and sent him over this way. I think it was too much of a commitment. There's already another backup frenzy to surf the surfer. So yeah. And it's a very poor start. I do say that though, there was no blitz on. So there wasn't much of the turn left. I doubt Liam was going to go for a quick 2-turn. And the movement 8 Orcs not available, so it's not actually that bad. Like, it's probably the best time you could get a 1 in 27. Comparatively. It's an interesting one though, because sometimes Liam does want to score early, so he can get Grand Brindal back and start fighting again with the Grand Brindal combos. But I think that was their best shot in defending was in the first half, and they still couldn't get past. Still couldn't do it, although they did have a 2-die. And look, I can really relate to Liam, because the first ever time I played REBBL, I made the playoffs and I was playing Skaven, and I got a blitz on turn 1 defending, and then the turn after that I had a free 2-die hit on a skink with my Storm Vermin and missed it to try and do something else, and I went on to lose. So it does happen. I was about to say to the best of us, but that's a bit egotistical even by my standards. But yeah, a rough one. And if Liam doesn't win, he's going to be thinking about it for a long time. The Orcs. Kosian hits to time bank again. Oh my days. This man is lost in the sauce. The Blood Bowl sauce. Down to 145. Orcs trying to win this in regulation. We're hoping there's so few pieces left after regulation that it doesn't matter. There's no decisions left to make. Anyway. I like this. We're using our sure hands guys to carry the ball so we can keep both Valks on the line and with threat and forcing them to keep a safety back, right? I like this a lot. I like having the movement 8 threat. First of all, they're our blitzer for this drive. And second of all, they'll start their turns further up the pitch, so we can there's always the risk of a handoff play. Yeah, the Orcs go in hard, and this is the downside, of course, because when you play on the LOS, it means that the Norse get to decide where you can't put guard. So this means that this guy isn't a guard guy. Although I think it should be enough. Like, look at this surround on the Yeti. The Yeti can't do much. It really can't do much. It gets a 1-die onto Grom McGraw. The ball comes in for pick-me-up value. And God, there's going to be some pick-me-up value next turn. I'll tell you that much for free. And we'll take the weakest link and try and punch down the line. Oh, that'll do though. It's alright. This is the one piece in the York team that doesn't have block apart from the Goblin. So, the best time to roll a 1 in 9. And this is our 1-die to try and open things up. And it both downs. Oh, nasty one there. We were hoping this would open up extra hits. But this guard stand firm. It may have taken some precious time bank, but it has done the job. And we're going to use a reroll here. We need to get knockdowns. We can't afford to lose the fight as the Norse, because our only strength is fighting. We're even going to break. First of the day. No removal. Confidence boosting, and there's a 1 in 9. The guard firm stays where it is. They're not going to be saved. We're going to get another one though. 4th dice is the right dice. Stand firm, of course, being used, and it breaks. Oh, a nice time break there. 2 stuns. The Zork defense is getting hold. A couple of freakish breaks through the armor. We're coming in for a foul. Love to see it. 3 assists, but no removal. Dirty play. Not useful. The ref gets involved. It must have been a terrible foul. I assume we're going to argue this. And the ref doesn't like it. Rolls the 1, but at least it didn't cost the bribe. And the first emote of the day. And it is a tilter from Kunxian to the coach, clapping his hands at the ref there. Was that a snaked foul? It was a 1-1. Well, at least it wasn't a snake from your super valve to score. But we're really looking for silver linings in a thunderstorm here. Hawks are gonna punch. And this ball is a titchy player. Is this an exposed ball? It could have been. Erkan could have gotten up and blitzed with a 1-die. Can Marco get there? Don't think so. It's not quite exposed enough. There's an injury, down goes the ball, so no pick me up value. And that is some meat on the menu for these Orc boys. Of course, not gonna Apo that one. Probably the only piece he wouldn't power Apo is the one that's strength 1, movement 5. But down goes the pig. Yeah, no, the bribe is still in play. They tanked the it's the tech for bribes where if you don't I think it's a turnover is the thing. So if you don't mind your turn ending, you argue the call, and then if it rolls a 2 to a 5, you just bribe. If it rolls a 1, then your bribe's safe. And if you roll a 6, you don't need to use the bribe, but it does end your turn. So, oh, interesting. You can't bribe without a coach. I don't know if we'll find out later, I guess. Anyway, I think is I haven't played goblins in a while. I would like to. I don't want to call out bullshit on Zach, but in my head that's not how that works. But I'm happy to be wrong. Anyway, a little bit of cage press, so they're also going to punch through it, and I think it's going to be time. It's time to give it up to Volkmar, and they're just going to send it. And we're going to try and knock down Marco and get on our merry way. Stand firm. Freeze up the ball. I think Yerk's going to come here and mark this blitzer. Yeah, here we go. Important blitz. Gets the knockdown. That's very good news for the Norse. Fishing for another break as well here, but beggars can't be choosers. Oh, we get it. And that's another stun. No removals, but stuns are more than enough to get them through this drive. Ah. No, Zach, it doesn't. If the coach gets sent off, you can't then bribe. But I think for subsequent fouls, you can still bribe. I'm like 95% sure that's how it works. But yeah, you can't bribe. You can either bribe or argue the call. No, that's not true. You can only bribe afterwards if it's not a 1. A 1 just ends it. It's very strange. Jedi Bear's got it. I mean, yeah, here we go. We got the screen up. And it's not really exposed realistically. We'd have to throw some serious, I say serious dice. Here comes the foul. We're about to see the theory tested. Never mind. A nice stun, but no removal, which is what we're after. Now, will Shinbreaker make the big time play? It will be a 4-3-2. We don't do it. We just stand up. And these guys have now recovered. And they're going to get into the fray. Anyway, scoring threats. Including the super Valk. Like I said, Orcs don't hate a score too much. Get some of their best blitzer back. And the Orcs were able to get into a scoring position very early on their last drive. So I assume they'll be confident that they can do it again. The only problem they have is they don't have time bank to do it. It took them a lot of time bank to get those turns done in the first half, and they don't have that luxury now. And there's still 11 Norse. And as chat has been hinting at throughout, I think there's going to be some serious time pressure on this second drive. Should Kunxian force an early score. But at the moment, he's not doing much to that effect. I assume we're going to take over this... we're going to knock down the wrestle, I think is the idea. And really cut them off. And then just force it to be this handoff into a score. But the question is, can we? Oh, he's got to be thinking about saving the goblin. But this is a good line of boys. In comes the hit. And then wrestle probably gets used. There's no frenzy here. We'll sigh. I think that was a sigh and a fine, and we'll push. But this is a 2-die hit. Drunkard exists. We can score anyway, even without Drunkard. And well, I would say a difficult-ish decision. Chat, can you blitz and then hand off? No, right, you can't do both. It's looking like a 3+ handoff here. And I think Liam hates it and is trying to figure out a better way of doing it, but I don't think there is one that doesn't involve more dice. Because these are 3+ dodges, 3+ rushes. And this is a 3+ from tackle. So we'll see what we can get. This looks like a... Yeah, this feels like a handoff, and if we won in 9, we won in 9 and say GG. We do get a pal though, and this gives us an extra boy. Where can he go? Not too far. Oh, we're not going to score this turn. Okay. Right. We've freed up 2 extra players, and we're going to try and cage it instead. We see the vision. We follow with the super bow. Okay. Now we're going to need some rushes for sure. Or are we? Are we actually going to blitz with one of the... I think we're going to blitz with one of these back markers. And then that frees up the kick lineman. Who can then be a cage corner. And then we don't have to throw as many rushes. Makes sense. And that's the only line I see other than the ball coming backwards. And the ball does come backwards, and in fact will help him take a block. This is a very interesting turn of events. And I think we might be overestimating the ability of this Sherhan's lineman to make it back to Volkmar. Although we do have turns to play with, I suppose. Fascinating. Anyway, it'll be a safe cage, and we are going to foul. Oh, wow. Getting our value. And we snake that, and here comes the bribe, and it's a crucial bribe. He does take it. But it's not great. I would have fouled from this square, I have to be honest. If we're going to do it this way. Because this is not looking too good. I mean, it's unsafe either way. Oh, goodness me, what are we doing? What was the Yeti blitz? Oh, wow, I forgot we hadn't blitzed yet. Fair enough, the Yeti saves the day. Down goes the line. Claw does its work, and that's the first removal of the day. And that solves the scientific... We've done some science here, if you weren't aware. Solves the problem. And we take a rush. Oh my god, a heroic rush. But we snake the rush, we snake the block it provided. And the ball is not safe. Aberdax Anderson will stroll on in. There's no back cage corner, and Kunxian will hit the pause button after this. Right, okay. 2 pauses left. Timeout. Timeout Orcs. What do you make of this? Zach has realised I've been fouling wrong all this time. Don't worry, it is not intuitive or straightforward. So don't kick yourself too hard. Unless you've been playing like goblins for 2 years, in which case you might have to kick yourself a little bit. Kunxian needs a timeout, something going on in the household. I assume. Fingers crossed he's alright. Might just be a pee break. The Yeti rush gave me a heart attack. Me too. I was shocked. I thought we were just going to take that 3+ and try and get this back cage. But Liam had other ideas. And to be fair, the Yeti delivered. Unfortunately, the Valkyrie couldn't hold up her end of the bargain, and the ball might go down here. After the pause, after the timeout. Good game so far. Griff dying been the highlight, I think, for sure. And there we go, we're back. Second scene, he's got 2 minutes plus a minute 45 here. And the ball is wide open. In fact, Arundel is unmarked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's a simple 2+ for a 2+ for one die. Can we make it any better? I don't think so. Goblin can come in actually, but I suspect we want the Goblin to pick up. It's a tough one. Do you activate the Goblin to do what exactly? Yeah, no, you can't do anything. So we may as well send it. All good though. Teddy Bear being a bit sarcastic there. Although he is the Rebel, he is also in the playoff semi-finals, so maybe he's got room to chat. But I'm sure Liam will watch this VOD, and if he sees that when watching the VOD, it'll add a bit of spice to the final, if that is what the final will be. Anyway, Larendam has to win the game here with this big time play. It's one rush into one dice, and this guy has blocks, so we're going to need a 5-up check. But if you can get it down and get it pushed over here, there's a free square, and sometimes this Goblin just picks the ball up and puts the Norse in all kinds of trouble. We don't get it. That is a skull. We have 3 rerolls to play with, and we use one of them, and it's a snake. Snake in the grass. Snake in the fist. Theobald stands firm. Not literally, of course. But now there's a line. There's a line to the Super Vault. And we can still score this. Unfortunately, it requires a little bit of heroicism. These guard guys... Guard is providing all the value in the world here. It's making this a very worrying 1 dice hit. What other lines do we have? It's looking more and more like the Yeti has to make a big time 2-die block. And note we're going away. We're getting a bit starchy with it, although I assume this Valk's coming over. No, this Valk's blocking. I see. Oh, down goes the York. Goblin is feeling very happy though. Now, how are we saving this one? I see. I suspect it's going to be a lot of 3+ dodges. I guess we've still got the rerolls for them. But yeah, we're going for as much stall as we can, trying to get to overtime here. Because then we can always win the toss. And I think if the Norse have Volkmar and they have the ball, they have a couple of rerolls, they've always got a chance. The first one goes off okay. This does not give you the 3 dice. Although I see the line now. Yeah, we're going to free it up with this block. Do we now follow to tie this player down? We do. Yeah, and the Yeti's going to come into the Black, or is it going to come into the Goblin? No, we're going for the Black Orc. Huge Yeti interaction. We get a knockdown. That is a very big knockdown. 10% chance the game ends there. But the Yeti delivers hard with a break. And are we taking any more rushes? I doubt it. I suspect he will just run over here, be a cage corner, and be happy. But I think Kungsian's scouting... No, Liam's scouting for a better position. Taking a quick look around. Happy with where it is. We're going to take some extra blocks. Oh, Liam also aware of his time bank. And he does have input like to worry about. And I think what he did was he counted the squares and realised that these Black Orcs were completely out of it, and then just turned his brain off, punched an Orc. Not a bad thing to do. Now I don't know what we're waiting for. Oh, we're going for the foul. I like it, but no good. Is this live? It is very live, Seb. Hello. You've missed a lot of it, but we are still live. Do not adjust your set. The Orcs stand up, but they're really out of options now. They can only go for damage, and it's looking like it's going to be 1-1 here. And the Green Orc Red-uns have been pushed around and outmaneuvered, and a lot of the team value in inducement, well, almost all of the team value induced against them is on the sideline for this drive, and they've been outworked. Damning indictment. Has to be said. A very good drive by the Orcs. Very good recovery from the misplay in the first half. And Kingsian is in all sorts of trouble now. He's at the mercy of the kick in overtime at this rate. And honestly, with Grombrindal back, even if the Orcs get the ball, the Norse will be happy. They've still got 2 rerolls, they have a power Apo, and they've still got 2 good Valks. They can definitely do something with that. The Goblin gets involved. Now this is scary. This Goblin is signing up for a blitz. And if this Goblin goes away, the Agi game for the Orcs is 0. Quintessentially. But we do get our hits. The ball does go down. Stalled out too far. Just hoped that the Orcs would fail a 3+, but Kingsley's not afraid to re-roll that. And plays to his outs. The ball is down, but it takes everything. It takes absolutely everything, and the Norse have enough. Do they have enough to come back? They have 1 for free. They have a Yeti, but they don't want to have to blitz the Yeti. They should really be blitzing Volkmar into this Goblin. Ideally, and then hoping the Yeti walks over on a 4+. It doesn't feel good. But this is what we have to do, and we do get a nice 6. Desperately want a KO here, or at least a break. Big 8+ check right now. Spurt Wiley, can he stand up to the music? No. Yes, he can. He can. There's no break. And that's a good... I'd like to say it's a good scatter for the Orcs in the sense that it's not into the hands of a Norse. And oh my god, we've got Seb and Jed in the chat. All we need is McMackey, and we've got a triple backseat situation. The REBBL Classic. Unfortunately, I think it's a bit... probably dinner time for McMackey right now. We're going to pick this up on the Super Valk, and in Strength 4 Blodge we trust. And honestly, I think it's a good enough strategy here, considering the lack of tackle, or at least the lack of tackle in range. As you can see, one of them is a bit close, but he's on the sideline. Yeti has had enough. And we're going to throw some fadeaway 3+s here to try and get back over. And we'll see how we do. Yeah, the Norse a little bit of a scare. But Orcs had to commit the Goblin in order to make it a 2-die. And that was enough. Didn't fancy a 1-die, which makes sense because this is obviously a block piece. No stamp. And let's look at the bench. Plenty of room for... Actually, I say that. I think they've got 1 more spare, maybe. And this is a failed 3+. I think you have to let this one go. Yeah. There's just not a lot of value it can get. And yeah, now we're just praying that we find a lucky 6 for an Orc here. Because by hook or by crook, the ball has ended up in Volkmar's hands, as was always the plan. I think the leader reroll's been used, so we won't be too sad if this Valkyrie gets fouled out of existence. But the Orcs they get one mighty blow hit, another shot on alignment. They get a couple of extra hits, but it might not be enough. There's the Orcs have struggled to get through. There was a kill on Griff, and they one-tapped the boar, but apart from that, the ref's been the big player in terms of removals and the heat as well. It's a very populous pitch. Very, very chill game in terms of damage. So that will always favour the Norse because they're not supposed to stick around this one. Whose turn are we on? It is Kunxian's turn. And Time Bank watchers are looking forward to this one because there's 45 seconds left and not many pieces have activated. Considering there's 2 just guaranteed 2-die hits. Who am I to say? Still got 30 seconds to do them, so it's all good. Anyway, we're going to keep the tackle back, but I don't think it's quite good enough. I'm pretty sure Liam is going to call this bluff as we see a break. Liam will call this bluff and sideline cage. I'm 90% sure that's what he's going to do. And say, go on then, dive me. Will Kunxian then do that? I don't know. I'd like to think he would. It would be incredible if the game is decided on a 5+ die. Oh, we are going to run in. There we go. Guard defensive gets involved. And now that sideline cage play looks a lot worse because we're going to get an extra punch in. And Elias the apricot. An attack ball. Just a stun. How many times have I said that today? Quite a lot. The goblin can't dodge. Now he can. And away he goes. He's made it away. But it won't be good enough. And I'm pretty sure Volkmar's going to step out and take a shot onto Spurt Wiley on her way in. Yep, 3 Norse down here. The Yeti can't be trusted to do anything, so that's essentially a dead piece. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we can't make it 3 die. Yeti, we're going to try and get the Yeti involved, but we tank the 1. A very important 1 to soak there. Yeti does the job. I think we were going to hope for a 2-die hit onto Hannibal with our block guy just to try and get a knockdown. But yeah, step out and back in. 2 dice. Only a push, but I don't think that will do. Straight 4, if he goes straight down. No, there is a gap still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's forced an extra dice at least. We go sideways. What? What? Oh, Kunxian, mate. Say it ain't so. Cut the rushes off with that one. Anyway, skips away, no dramas. And in she goes. 1-1. Heat players come back though. The super movement 8 tackler is back on the pitch for the Orcs. Back, there's a little celebration. KO comes back. And none of these guys are coming back. So we're down to, looks like 9. No. Full 11. So we'll see a lot less fouling now, that's for sure. So they can the Orcs 2-turn. They do have a Goblin with Stunty. Stunty Agi 2 movement 7 with Sprint. So it's definitely on. Liam has to go for a proper anti-2-turn here. But I don't think this is where the Inducement North struggle. They don't have the resources to anti-2-turn efficiently. In the sense that there's no like stand firm anchors for this setup. So the Orcs can, if the Orc coach is on the ball, the Orc coach can just knock these 3 players over, push them away, and then stand here with a Goblin and get the blitzers around it. And it becomes a suicidal dive to save the postseason with the Colourful Vikings. We'll see what the Orcs come up with. Kunxian's only got 3 minutes to make the move and figure it out. But we will see. I'm a little bit... Yeah. Ignore this player. This T-pose is making it confusing. This guy does not exist. Smart enough though. Liam makes sure that the highest strength in the stand firm is in the wings. But yeah, as I said, unfortunately the front is so weak. Obviously the downside of this is Grombrindal can't break tackle the Yeti. So fortunately there's no Yeti dive. And Kungsian's getting sharpish with it. A lot of movements very quickly, realizing they've only got a minute in the bank. And this is a very important 2-turn. We're going to start off with the movement 8 and then hand off to the Goblin. No grabs here. And everyone going central. Yep, down the middle we go, boys. Are we... Wait, hold on it. Hold the phone. How many pushes do we need here? It's a lot, surely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 3 pushes. Someone... Does this not feel like we're trying to chain push? It needs a lot of pushes. We're only getting 2 dice. I don't know if this is the play I would have gone for. He does have 2 turns. I think I would just take the LOS hits and just run, like blitz these guys with a frenzy and just run it all down. But we still have frenzy. Like Frenzy Juggernaut is so good against these block guys. It like guarantees you space. But hey, if this works, it is mad style points. I want to see it. Quick snap. Yeah, quick snap gets him a lot closer, but it opens up Kungsian messing up his setup, like the old pivot from quick snap, ruining your 1-turn setup thing. Anyway, we have a kick guy, so this kick is guaranteed deep. We're gonna send it all the way back. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's actually okay for the Orcs, but not bad. And a solid defense. Rough stuff, but honestly, they can't interact too much because you're filling in squares for more chain pushes, right? I mean, this catch gets so much harder. He's picked his 6. The Valk stays put on that square. And what is he doing? I don't know. I have no idea what I do here. Seb Style wants everybody back. But oh, I didn't realize that's how that works, Shambo. I learned something today. So yeah, in my head, if he filled this square, he could just sidestep to any square. So it doesn't matter. But if that's so, does that cancel the sidestep then? Does that mean he has to sidestep? He has to just push this way? That's interesting. But yeah, Grombrindal's been activated. So I assume that Grombrindal stands here. That's what's going on in my head anyway. We'll see if Liam agrees with me. He doesn't. Holds the sideline space. Maybe missing a slight trick? Not sure. He does get... It's not a blitz, right? The Orcs do get to try and knock him down. Anyway, we leave it all open. We might even... Look, Liam might even want Kungsian to try this, because it is like a very rough play to get the ball to the Goblin this turn. And yeah. Doesn't look like we're going for it. Not anymore. We're gonna get some punches here. Long overdue from Hills, but Thick Skull coming. These guys getting Thick Skull is such a good buff. Really getting some good work. Have a click on the Goblin. Not a lot of good places to go, but he has to get in range. With these knockdowns, they simply have to get in range. So We'll see what the Orcs come up with there. Boxcars are always good. But this is a nice pause. The Blitz does not want to go here, that's for sure. Blitz kind of has to go into Z address. Or the Yeti. Looks like it's the Yeti instead. Fair dues. Unfortunately, Volkmar covers that with rushes. And the Wrestle covers it without rushes. So this is very, very Hail Mary. What you might end up seeing is the Goblin just coming up in the middle and standing here to be a serious problem. And then we end up with an Orthodox. Oh, never mind. I was about to say an Orthodox blitzing scoring threat from this player, but that's no longer true. Yes, he does go down. He doesn't have block. Or was that intentional? Oh, my guy doesn't have block. Sorry, I'm so used to the Orcs having block. I just completely mentally switched off there. Right. Now what, Mr. Conxian? Taking black 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not going to cut the mustard. This might be enough though. 8, 9, 10. It's not enough, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, it is. Yeah, it is just about. In Yeti we trust. The Orcs are trusting the Yeti to mess this up. But never mind, it's just a straight up 2-die. Oh dear, this is a very important dodge that we don't take. And all of a sudden, well, I say all of a sudden, I mean this has been a disaster for the Orcs. I'm pretty sure Futslad had to run here to stop this being so easy. Because there's no guard. As it stands, it's now... That's not good enough, actually. We actually needed a knockdown. We might take the both down and let the Yeti... Yeah, we're going to take the both down and let the Yeti have a go, I suspect. It's so scary to do that, though, because you're a 1 in 9 away from potentially losing the match. But the real question is, what can you actually do against this sidestepper? I think Liam has to think about just going for the 3-2-2 with block. I think a 4-3 is just asking a little bit too much. It's a little bit too scary. But without block, yeah, this feels like we're setting up for a break tackle to make this dodge easier, and we're going to go in. That has to be it, right? Give it break tackle for the +1, and then it becomes a 2-2. We give it sprint. Oh, we're going over the top? Oh, we're not blitzing with you. Oh, I see. You're the insurance. In case this fails, and it does fail. A huge 1 in 9. The Yeti lets down Liam. And on turn 16, he might have to re-roll this. Oh, what a clutch loner. A 5+ loner into a 6 and a 3. And that'll be overtime. It should be. In comes Marek. Oh, it's not guaranteed. Marek still has to roll some dice. Makes the 4+. No dramas. In she goes. And it's 2 pushes. Strip ball needed. Not acquired. And we're going to say that's enough. And the Goblin has nowhere good to go. In theory, he should be going forwards, but... Look at where the ball is. Yeah, we are going to go forwards. And we follow. Right, making the catch hard, but... That is a blitz and surf situation. We have to try and mark. This player has to come around and mark first, lad, otherwise he's going to make the play. We don't do it, though. I think this is now the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blitz. Or even maybe a mark, like a stand into something. Alright. So, I haven't been looking at the ball. The ball has to now rush. So that's an extra 2+. Foul appearance. No, disturbing presence is actually a thing here. It makes the catch harder. We're going to straight up surf this foul. Get the preliminaries out of the way. But the catch is hard. At the end of the day, though, it is out to win. The worst the Orcs can do is win. That is not a knockdown. But we do get to choose where we go. So that opens up the lane now for the Super Goblin to make the big time play. It's actually 2+. So it's only a 3+ to catch now. It's a 2 into a 3. 2-3, 2-2 now for the Orcs to win it all. Or not win it all, to make it to the final. And my kingdom for a strip ball is probably what Liam's saying right now, but he doesn't have it. They don't re-roll those pushes. Suppose he felt like if he went into overtime with no rerolls, he'd lost anyway. But yeah, not enough, no protection coming over. I think it was the misplay there by this guy, the sure hands, Urk the Ebony. Fatal misposition, and it's cost his team a Super Bowl here, unfortunately, for that man. Fans will not be happy with him. Even potentially, even because he was standing like here, right? Oh, that's one of the rerolls gone. Oh, wow, okay, reroll gone, almost a quad skull to send us to overtime, and now we've only got one reroll for the winning play. And there's a 3+ catch and a couple rushes to make here. Milcian might have played himself into trouble. It's a 6. And that's a 1 on the catch. Do we re-roll? To win the game, surely. Animosity passes. We fail the catch. No rerolls for the Orcs. Animosity, I forgot it existed, but it has saved Liam Colston's team. And throwing that reroll on a 2-die before trying to win the game. I mean, this is pretty biblical greed, and it has been punished. Both coaches now, I think, with a serious blunder to their name. One in the first half from Liam Colston and one just there from Kunxian. And oh my goodness, it's an overtime. And both coaches take a breath. A time bank check. Both coaches low. Kunxian obviously under 40 seconds. Liam's got a bit more time to play with, but some of that will go to the input lag, of course. One reroll left for both coaches. Both Appos left. Been very light on damage this game. Don't worry, Sebso, you can always watch the VOD. But the VOD's going to go up later now because this has gone on later. Good news for the Orcs is they have won the toss. And it forces a Norse 2-turn. The threat of the stunty means that we have to keep this sort of setup realistically. And the Orcs made a real butchers of that last 4 turns. Although there was a perfect defense involved. But even so, there was not a lot going for them. And then they made a lot of extra greed punches. And that might be okay in a league match, but I don't know. I think I just take the line to score and win outright. So who knows? Maybe it'll pay off. It's not like they got any removals either to justify it, so we'll see what they do. Everyone steps off. Kunxian wants to reevaluate this and start from scratch. Yep, Mighty Blow comes in. But the Norse with 11 players going into overtime, overjoyed. When they stepped into this matchup against this much guard Mighty Blow, they must have been fearing the worst. They must have been thinking, I will limp into overtime with maybe 7 players. But they've got a full complement and one of the star players and the Yeti, and most importantly, both Valks. And those Valks are game-winning pieces, both of them. See, I do agree with you, Seb. I agree with the backseat chat analysis. I think the Yeti had to stand here because the strength, the wrestle tackle is at the end of the day the better Saka. So I think Kunxian can play away from it, and it's okay. I understand the logic, kinda, in the fact that we can just take rushes, but with only one reroll, it's a bit sketch. We kick shallow. Get it right in the midst here. And we see it's a big anti-blitz. Another solid defense. Nice kickoff events here. Although I think we can take this opportunity to fix our earlier setup and get that Yeti in that back left corner. We will see. Yeah, no 2 turns now. The Goblin is back to pick this one up. But it probably won't be safe. He's picked his 5. And yep, the Super Valk can move. The Yeti's going on the LOS here. The problem with all this LOS thing, I mean, it makes sense. It's just the Orcs have so much guard, right? The Yeti will get knocked down. If Kungsian's got anything about him, this Yeti's hitting the floor and the Shurihand is going to get blitzed. But the Valk back gets right behind the Yeti. It's a neat logic. It says, look, your last 2 turns weren't too great. And if you have another one that's not too great, my super piece is right there. I just think the Orcs have too much skillage in terms of look at this guy. Hannibal Reed can just blow this push up in the trenches. Free up can we free up a guard? I think we probably can here. We'll free up a guard, put this guard over here. Hannibal Reed steps in with a big time hit. The big lineman gets up ahead of steam, runs in, gets the blitz here, and then that gives an extra knockdown to Aberdax onto the Yeti. And this early pressure gets blown up at the plate. Here we go. It's a bit of an all-in. Jed calling it out. I agree. It is I'm gonna put it in now, and I back myself. I think I'm gonna outreact you in a weird high variance, high pressure game. Just fair enough. I mean, look at this. This team has like a 25-6 record. You know, like incredible record. So they got form. And yeah, that's what we do straight away. Spot that this is an easy 2-die without having to burn a blitz. Very important block. If Aberdax finds a break here, it's a really useful setup. Downside to this is, of course, ball safety becomes a problem. Volkmar will just walk around the back of this if Kungsian's not careful. I suspect that Murdag has to really be careful with how he positions himself here. This, a step to here, is actually fine, I think. That's what I want to see. I want to see the step here. From this line or before we throw these punches. Because we have no rerolls, right? We're at the risk of a serious risk of a dub skull ending our playoff run. I would probably have just thrown this one, stood here, and then tried to pick up. But that's just me. Yeah, we've gone Rindal. We're ready to give a break tackle. You're absolutely right. A big break. That's what we needed. Only a stun, and we are going to blitz with this line or gets another pow. Stay, but this is not good enough. Yeah, that is the correct square to be in. Now even a break tackle looks a little bit scary. 27 seconds. I think he's got it. Pickup's a 6. The Goblin is safe. Eye cage, but there's so much Orc in the way that I don't think the good guys can get there. And yeah, a lot of timer pounding down now because there'll be some bugs for both coaches as they hit the under 30 seconds mark. What can we get? Not a whole lot. We can break tackle through as advertised. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into here for a 1 dice, but there's no pickup. Not that we, they don't need to score, but the Orcs are still agility 3, so if you give them 7 turns, even an Orc can pick up a blood ball. We're doing it, I think. No, we're going, okay, we're going to get on the cage. Mighty Blow here? Yeah. Just a bit of damage. Gosh, no removals for the Orcs. So yeah, they're also happy to stall it out another couple of turns. Try our luck with a Mighty Blow shot here. No break. Armor 10 plus is a scary beast. What should do? Yeah, they're going to step back. Have another look next turn. Brindal gets in front. Stays near the Yeti. Shamba once again stressing about time bank management. Next time I play Shamba, I'm going to try and run my time bank to 0. I think that's what I'm going to do. Really stress you out. Although I suppose if you're playing, you don't think about it as much. Alright. If I click on, we'll click on the Orcs at the start of their turn and see what kind of tackle zones are here. Just both downs do nouts. So it's a marked up front line. We're going to try and walk away. Hope we don't get it. No break though. Right, we've got the line of Norse. It's a bit of a fragile line here. These are 2/2 die blocks, one of them with Mighty Blow. Alright. Don't worry, I make it hard enough for myself already by the decisions I make with the pieces, let alone with my time bank. Okay, what is Hawk gonna go for now? Both teams slowing it down a bit. To that end, we might see, I think we'll see the blitz onto Zay address the Zafri. And the Orcs will sit. And just say, look, eventually I'll step forward with 7 guard. Might even be this turn he steps forward with all the guard. It'll be a similar situation to the first half. And I don't think in the first half, Griff was able to get behind the ball and cause problems. While the Super Valk stayed in front of it. They won't be able to do that this time. Alternatively, he will blitz the Wrestle Valk and just wrap this player up between 2 Orcs. Okay, I did not predict. I don't know what I was thinking. I was not thinking of this Orc standing on that square. Okay, ball steps back. Orcs disengaging from the fight. Very worried about the threat of the Super Valkyries getting around the edge and coming in hard. 4-man's tackle does its job. Frenzy gets the mark. No break once again. Been a running theme. These Orcs been very pillow-fisted so far. Yep. We're now out of time once again. We're going to stand in front, but this might not be good enough. I'm counting some squares. And we do have a line. It's not a super safe one. It's 3. Yeah, it's tackle. It's a bit rough. And time. Alright, Kunxian's all out. We've still got 1:30 for the Colourful Vikings, who have to feel favoured the longer this goes on. He's hoping now that his opponent will make a mistake under this time pressure. Although Liam has some time pressure of his own. He's only got 2 minutes and an extra 1:30. He's not got all day. And I think you'll see him speed up here to try and exacerbate the problem that Kunxian has. If you only take a minute on your turn and you put your opponent under 2 minutes pressure, it's a problem. So there's a break tackle dive that Jed's pointing out. There's also the go around dive. We're going to get a man out of the way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. It's actually, this looks pretty bad because we have to 4+ in through tackle. So I don't think we'll do that. And we can Super Valk. Ooh. No, we're not taking it. We think we've got this, man. We think we've got this game under control. We don't need to make a crazy 4+ play. Especially with the sidestep goblin. If the play goes wrong, the goblin will run it away. So 30 seconds on the normal clock. We're yet to blitz. Brindal also yet to activate. I tell a lie. Alright, it's going to be a Yeti get up and blitz, giving him mighty blow, I suspect. And we're going to crash in here with the big strength 5 boy. Down a stand firm for good measure. Now where is the... Yeah, the Yeti does just go into Grom McGraw, I should say. Here he comes. Now this is still eating time bank. We give him sprint. No, sure feet even. In case of frenzy. A good tech from Grombrindal keeps the beast on his feet. Not needed the value in the end, but here comes a pow. Claw hit onto the blitzer, no good. But the Yeti's in. Cute is exactly the word. Leather sure feet. A lot of coaches turn their brain off and hit the mighty blow button there. Especially after they've been playing Blood Bowl for the best part of 2 hours. Now he's in the time bank and he doesn't have much left to activate here. Only 2 pieces. Down to 50. There's a 1 die push into stand firm. And that'll be that. That should be that. Yeah, end of turn. 49 seconds. And now Kunxian goes on the clock. Back and forth. Both coaches living on their wits. And after 19 turns, there won't be much of those left. Here we go. Orc's just going to punch. We're going to take all our blocks. We're going to see what the board looks like and make a snap call. There goes the break. Again, Thick Skull bails him out. That must be maybe the 4th or 5th Thick Skull bailout. Imagine if Pick Me Up was working as well. These Norse would be unstoppable. Anyway, the Yeti does hit the floor. Short-lived little charge there. But it does burn an activation at the very least. It keeps this front line a bit safer. Because it's 1 less punch onto these pieces here. Now, unfortunately for Liam, Abidax can kind of take his pick of the menu here. With his guard friends coming in. I suspect the Wrestle Vout is going to tank a mighty blow hit here. 9 times out of 10. Or will he save it? I think I do take this block and go a step forward. Get to okay, sideline cage or sideline screen, but sidestep is a thing, so this is not as scary as it looks. 38 seconds, no blitz yet. And that'll be the POW. So we open the lane. No break, so that is a problematic piece for Kunxian next turn if he has to run people past. And he has to have a think. 15 seconds, he's not got long. This might be he might be thinking this is enough of a screen to keep out the Super Valk. It's a lot of tiles. Oh, we're going to commit the back safety. Now there's a gap. We red die, and the red die is okay. We don't have sidestep on this piece. So that's actually quite strong now. Because we can follow this up, and it gets very difficult. Do we know to follow? We do. And it's a very good turn from Kunxian as he times out. And Murdag literally could not make a play. Because he was out of time. But I think it's not a bad turn under the circumstances. This guy's stand firm. Unfortunately, this player isn't guarded. So there is an open shot. There is a dive off of this block if it can knock down. But I don't know if Liam will take it. That's a very important push skull. Larandrium stays up. And that whole play gets blown up, I think. We needed this assist. We don't have it. Grombrindal's away from the play. The Yeti's out of it. Yerk has to make another decision. Does he go back or forward? The last one almost cost him the game. And he has a lot less time to make this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can't get anywhere useful. That's Chamba correcting me, thank you. Hey, I'm making mistakes under time pressure as well. I just saw the red outline, and I assumed it was red. Anyway, the boys come in. Grombrindal standing around. Tough choices all around now. Yeti will get to its feet. A nice little anchor in it. That will stop the pivot, potentially. It will hold it up. Grombrindal. This is going to be a problem now. He has to check Grombrindal for like 4 pieces. And that could be some time lost. Stand firm. Getting so much good use out of here. That guard is in such a good spot. Yeah. As I said, look, he's having to think about Grom every activation. He's getting it out of the way now. Giving it Mighty Blow and we fail a dodge. Dodge skill is good. We take our shot. It's boxcars. We've still got a minute in the bank, so this isn't timeout city yet. We'll stay put and no break. Plenty of movement still. And we'll get back in front. But again, this is just a 2-die. Although it is without block, but a 2-die to push and then it's a tackle shot onto Volkmar. And Kunxian will definitely take that. Dauntless fails. We have to let it go. And this is an actual red die and that is a skull. We have to let that go. And a big time hit. Anderson cannot find the breakthrough. It's a 3. Absolutely not what's needed there. But we have plays. This is a nice easy 2-die. I say that it's a 1 in 9 risk to, like, the whole game could come onto this block if Kunxian plays it that way. Alternatively, and maybe more sensibly, okay, I was going to say something completely different. We're going for the surf, and then we're going to send it. I would have probably blitzed with this man onto this guy, but we get the surf. So all good in the neighborhood. We might just wrap this Valkyrie up in tackle. Because this one's downed, no jump up. And we can get this tackle to stand here. And when that happens, it's a lot of more dice. It's a fair bit more dice. Can we then keep it safe? I think we can. We can run this black up to here. The goblin stands here. And then we stand the tackle here. Okay, we do something different. Still 50 seconds. Shamba calling out a technical surf. Dude, I don't think he's doing that surf if he's got 7 minutes 50, let alone 35 seconds now. It's a very timid step up. I think they could have gotten a bit more there. It gives the Wrestle Valk a chance to escape. Anyway, we got some punching to do. Saving a quarter of the turn to get these blocks done. I think that was another both down push. This is the other thing. They're choosing so fast. I have to make sure I'm right on it to read what the actual blocks are. Anyway. All staying on their feet. Another push skull. Both teams pushing it off. Pushing it in the trenches, but the Orcs are slowly pushing them back. And a big 6. A huge 6 on Volkmar. Fortunately for Liam, the armor doesn't get broken. A break there would have been disastrous. Straight up. And we get the surround on the Wrestle Valk as well. Now this is a Dauntless Dwarf, but there's so much guard it doesn't matter. It's red dice whichever way he cuts it. And the Norse are starting to run out of plays. The Goblin is inching closer and closer, and there's just too much Orc here. And the problem is Liam's just in trouble. Like, you've only got one reroll. You don't want to end turn on like the Urk dodge to stand here. And he's just not getting any removals, unfortunately. Not getting even any like decent pushes or knockdowns. The Valk can only stand, and is going to tank another shot from tackle. No, he won't. She'll take some more blocks anyway next turn, and she's really not in a good spot when it comes to getting this Goblin down. And yeah, we'll just step out and try and halt the progress, and we only find pushes again. No one wants to go down. Everyone's selling themselves really harsh. This is real playoff Blood Bowl here. Every piece really selling its life dearly. No one wants to hit the floor. And Zach calling out the very real chance that you throw a block with 1 second left. You can't react in time, and it forces you to skull. Wonder how much Counter-Strike and Valorant these guys have played. It might be a reaction check. Finding out, and that is, I believe, a Yeti Dove Skull. Yeah, down goes the Yeti. Pretty useless Yeti. I think he's done more harm than good. Unfortunately for the Norse. And the Orcs get straight into business. See, if you guys played like this normally, you wouldn't be in these sort of situations where you have no time left. But anyway, that's okay. That's a stumbles. And the Norse are giving up the ghost a little bit here. There's a break. And in the context, that's probably a kill. In the sense that this player won't be able to interact with the rest of the game. Another knockdown. Grombrindal's in trouble now as well. And we can definitely get one more square, at least. Although with enough time, we could see the pain come all the way. Oh, never mind. Oh, wow. Very conservative positioning here. I guess we're just that scared of Yerk's play. And we're going to sideline cage it. Let's see now. Dub skull. And that is just what the Norse needed. It was always lurking. When you have no rerolls, there's always a chance that happens. And turn over, and most importantly, these two pieces don't get knocked over or even blocked against. I would probably have thrown these two first. Or that one. Because this Valk can now maybe do something and maybe get safe. Fortunately, this is a really good position for Hannibal to be in because it stops this blitz angle. It stops this turn being a I'm going to get my wrestle back because the threat of the odds of a stand firm just kill the play. And is this the dive? They could definitely walk in here. Algae 4+. Just step in and punch. 3 turns left. We're not going to go for it. Liam's too sensible. Oh, he's sensible enough anyway. Finally knocks over an Orc. First time in a couple turns. That dub skull must have inspired them. We follow up and break. Oh, a nice break. And it's a KO. That'll be the power Apo. Unless Kunkskin wants to hold the square empty. He keeps it full. Now then. Now then. The Goblin can always jump over, but it's a very good turn for them. Very important turn now for Hannibal Reed. Has to stand up and get a couple knockdowns here. Stand strong, I should say, not stand up. Massive break that, and the Valk goes to the center. They say that these two will do the job. The Goblin can't score, and they're going to try and take on the big man and can't. That's a 1 in 9 from Grombrindal. But yeah, 1 square too shallow. That dub skull means the Goblin cannot score, so we're happy with these two being all the sideline pressure. Unfortunately, we don't get the reward of, you know, making these guys' lives a bit easier. It's still 2 dice all round for the big Orcs. And here we go. There's a 6. Marek the Marv. Move. Marv. Marv. Down, there you go. Grombrindal next on the plate. And yeah, in it goes. We're going for the Starman. That's another 1 in 9 for 1 in 9. But we have the Juggernaut skill. In it comes. Whoa. Okay, yeah, we don't follow that. I'm a little bit surprised there. I guess we're coming all the way to the center with rushes. So that we're okay. But oh, it's so scary though. If we run over here, the Wrestlevax's right in the neighborhood. We've got to throw the rushes to get the other side of her. It should be. Could it be enough? Yeah, it should be enough, right? We can go here. We have blitzed. I was about to say we haven't blitzed yet, but we have blitzed. Oh wow, we're screening it. Alright, so this Orc stands here. And then how far? We can't get far, chat. We cannot get far. But it might be good enough. Yeah, here we go. He's just running over to behind the line of Orc. But Theobald could win the game. It's a big 3+. The Yeti might make it easy. Oh, there we go. The guard steps in. A pivotal dodge from Grom McGraw. But is it enough? It's enough to cover this guy off. But oh, we'll have to make the play, and there goes the other big man. That's all the star players out. Brindle gives up the ghost. And that dodge fails to occupy the square. And now it all comes down. This is what we're paying the tickets to see. It's Volkmar versus the Orc. She's got to dive through the screen. But with RG2+, you'd have to get her. She doesn't have the break tackle, though. That was a huge removal there. Incredibly important removal. Who threw that block? Oh, God, I'm going to struggle to find this now. Futslad Collins. Where are you? Is this you? No. Where is Futslad Collins? No, no, no. This guy. Yeah, the random Orc lineman. Big time play there. But yeah, this makes the dive a lot worse. But it's still doable. And at this point, the Goblin can score. The Yeti's out of it. This is downright suicidal for the wrestle. It's less it is only one dice roll though. It has to be said, it is only one dice roll, but the problem is it's like a 5+. So it's like a 66 pretty much. That's not strictly true. It's more of a 50-50, right? 33 plus 66 times 33. Yes, 52%, 55%. Whereas what are the odds of this then? Be 3. Oh, we're going this way. Here we go. Dodge gets used early. Dodge fails early. That's a knockout. And that is a knockout of the Colourful Vikings. Barring a tripwire erected across the end zone line. That should be all they wrote. And in fact, the Orcs can stall. They have one spare turn. And a pivotal 1 in 9. She couldn't do it. She's been doing it for them for the last 2 seasons, Volkmar. And this was just one ask too many. Alas. Big O loses. Big O wins. And Spurt Wiley makes it through. Liam will be so sad. For anyone joining late, on the Orcs' first drive, Liam had an open 2-die blitz on the ball off of 1 block, but he made the mistake of following, which turned it from a 2-die, or was it a 1-die? No, it was a 2-die into a red die. From the way he had to dive, and that literally cost him the drive. The Orcs would have been 0-0. It would have been 0-0 most likely, and therefore 1-0 in the game. But yeah, a rough one for Liam as the Big O wakes up to the tail end of a really fascinating game of Blood Bowl, I would say. The time pressure in this overtime has made it incredibly fun to cast as well. It's much more fun to cast this game on replay or in 1-minute turns than it is normally. Because you can do a lot more play-by-play. Oh, commiserations to the Norse. Griff is dead. Brindle going out to the worst possible time. Would break tackle have made a difference? Probably, unless it was an actual snake. No, I think I saw a 2 in there. I'm trying to run it back. Yeah, I'm seeing some 2s. I think the break tackle from Brindle might have done it. And yep, the pressure is now on Mr. Jetty Bear himself in the chat to prevent an Orc mirror. Gobu can still be hit. Absolutely, you're right. And he's trying for it. The heroic play by Kamenas. He gets across. He makes it to the corner. Oh, and he's a drunkard diff. And down he goes. A heroic attempt. A real Saxon on the bridge moment from Kamenas, but unfortunately goes down at the last hurdle. And we do the loop around BM score. Oh, he didn't. Oh dear, Kungsian does it to him on the last turn. I don't know if you played well enough for that one, buddy, but it's a statement. Holy, the Green Orc Reddens do it in style at the end. The Colourful Vikings, that's all for them this season. Will they come back? You never know. But that'll do it. It's golden goal. So assuming, yeah, they'll just pass it all out here. That is all. GG. What a match.